Hail! Oh, Splinter Snake over here. I know, coming back at you with a brand new video. It's been forever, let's face it. I know it, you know it, I'm sorry. I've just had so much crap going on, it's been unbelievable. I've got a new job, a new house, and a baby on the way. I know, so the ultimate collectible. So this is the Voyager Optimus Prime from, I don't know if it's from the Last Night or from Age of Extinction. I want to say Age of Extinction. Honestly couldn't tell you the difference, but you guys may notice a slight difference between this one and what you normally get in the packaging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause recording, revert this guy back, and then I'll show you what you have to do in order to be able to do that. And in case you was wondering, can this still transform? The answer is yes. Ta-da! Okay, no, it can't transform. But you can have both at the same time. Look, let me show you. There you go, prime back. So that's pretty cool. So, like I said, I'm going to revert this guy back a bit so I can show you exactly what I've done and how I achieved this look, if it's what you want. Because, unfortunately, it's not actually Hasbro's fault. Although I do complain about Hasbro quite a lot, this time it's not their fault. It's actually Michael Bay's fault. Because of the design of Optimus, it's just kind of this... I don't like it. I prefer the one from the first 3 films because it looks like a truck got into a robot. Whereas there is nothing of this in here whatsoever. So it's a load of movie magic, if you ask me. A load of rubbish. Don't agree with it. Right, so let me put this back together and we can talk about it. Okay, so I've reassembled it. That was a pain in the arse. In all honesty, it was a little bit more difficult to put back together than I originally anticipated. But he is back together as if shop brought, kind of. So in order to do this customization, you have to make a choice, which we'll go over in a sec. There's 2 things you can really do, well, 3 things technically, you can do to improve the quality or the look of the figure without it being too much. The first thing you can do is with the backpack, is you can take off this cab and the wings. So if we get this arm out of the way, see the wing here is, now I've not screwed this back in so this might pop off, bear in mind, it's only held together by these 2 little friction joints just here. So if you put pressure going that way, it's because there's a little groove just in there and there, show which direction to go, then they can pop straight off. So that's just that done. So you can do the same for the other one. Okay, now the next bit is I need the chest to come away. Right, there's a screw here and a screw here, and then there's a screw which is hard to see right there. Now I had to use basically this tiny screwdriver to get into that one, right down there, which you can't see, because this all gets in the way and it's very, very, very annoying. So if you want to do is turn his torso around so it's facing this way, because then you can actually force it all the way down like that, which makes it a lot easier. So we'll work like that from now on. Now if you just undo these top ones, it will allow you to pry the exhaust back like that, and then this panel here is just kind of hooked in again by a friction bit, and then you can just let that go back. Now I've done an additional mod which I will show you in a moment. Let's just go over this bit first. Depends how far you really want to go. So we've got the hood off, we've got the 2 side wing panels, and that's just 2 screws you've had to undo. The next part is the front wheels. These are just on ball joints, so if you unclip these, you can then just unpeg them. It's not going to want to do it, is it? There you go. They just unpeg from these balls, but it does mean you can have this ball disc floating around like that. But once again, that's a little bit tidier. And then do the same on the other side. Okay. Now that already looks a lot better and a lot more movie accurate. You do still have this Kibble here, and the back's not accurate at all because it doesn't look like that at all, to be honest. and the exhausts are hollow from the front, which is of course Hasbro's cop out because they're not allowed to give you solid figures because of reasons. Right, the next thing you can do is you can get rid of these panels if you really want, but to be honest they're not that bad, but they're just on a friction hinge just in there, so you can just pull them out like that, and my things come undone, which is a bloody pain in the arse. I'll have to pause that and glue that in a second. But you can do that as well if you want. That's entirely up to you. That part didn't bother me really that much. I just took it off because I needed to build the truck. And then the third part you can take off. Wait, that's the fourth part. I'm losing count now because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is these bits. These are also just some ball joints. Now, conveniently, this is actually just broken because I glued this on. But they're just in there. So when the foot is actually attached to this black bit, you just rotate that out to the way, and then you can just wiggle these and they will pop out of that hole there. So when you then put the foot back, it looks a bit better. So that's basically everything you can take off if you want to without doing any serious modding apart from 2 screws. Okay, you could technically leave those screws out, so then it would just have a bit of ply. I don't know how it might break the figure or anything, so just bear that in mind. Now, if you wanted to go an additional bit, the other problem is, like, there's no bend in the knee. It just doesn't bend. So I was like, I want to take these wheels off. And I was looking at it and looking at it. And I tried to get a screwdriver in here, trying to pry it, but it just wouldn't come off. So eventually, I accidentally pried off a wheel. And the good thing is, they're just friction whip pegs, so they're just pegged in, so they just pop straight off. And then there's a screw there and there's a screw there. Undo them and then you can untake off that whole wheel assembly. There's the other screw, and now look at the difference. Oh look, he can actually bend his knee in compared to the other one. But then of course you do have the problem whereas the foot is attached to this black part. So what I've had to do, let's put the wheel back in. There you go. What I've had to do is do one cut here, same on the other side, to do that. And then it basically means this is like this, and that's basically the truck ready to go. But it does mean you're going to have to glue this on because there's no way for this to actually attach. So I've initially just glued that one on, but the plan is I'm going to build up the whole of the back of this leg, and then I'm going to attach this black bit here like this and actually give him a hinge. That's the plan. We will come back to that at a later date. Now the final thing that I have done is this here. I've left that little screw in there, and I've removed the back panel altogether. It leaves him very hollow, so same as the legs, I'm going to build that up. But the reason why I'm doing that is because this screw here is what holds the is basically waist swivel. So if you don't have this part here, there's nothing physically attaching him to the his legs, which is a kind of a bit of a frustrating bit. So I just sawed across there and then I kind of frictioned it and then snapped it off. It's not the cleanest cut, to be honest. It's not my proudest work, but it did the trick, and it means that now from the front I've got a perfectly screen accurate Optimus, and from the back hardly ever going to see, but I will be building that up at a later date. So that's how you make a screen accurate Optimus Prime. Now I'm just going to chuck a bit of glue on that foot because it's going to drive me insane otherwise. Okay, so this is all the kibble that comes off of that Optimus, which is ridiculous, to be honest. The fact that none of this contributes to all the look of the robot is ridiculous. And you can actually make the truck out of it, which is even more ridiculous. It's basically a, what are they called, shell former? Is that right? That sounds right. So to put it back together, you take the back piece, you get your 2 panels, now you have to push them back in where those little grooves are. Like that. And you straighten it out like that. Where's the other one gone? Okay, with the cab bits, you just bring them all the way around. Same for both, as part of the transformation. And then you just peg these back into this ball joint. Oh, that's really stiff, that is. Right, rotate that round. So basically you want to line up this little bit here with this here. Out of practice, I'm trying to make sure I'm still in focus. Okay, and then that just collapses in, and that collapses in, same on this side, like that. Now you can clip these together if you want, but it's not going to stay, to be honest. You need both of these as well. So let's put this one back in. Like I said, just goes in this ball joint at the end here. Right, and then you've got the arm panels here. Now these just groove into here. Thank you. That was the, I can't remember what it's called, the aerosol thing, air freshener thingamajiggy. Right, once you've got them in, it will stay a bit better. Like that. And then this will clip together. Sorry, this will clip together here. Do apologise about that. Now it looks a bit wobbly, but once you get the truck on, or the cab on even, it will be a lot better. So these both just peg in here. And on the other side. And then there's little black bits just there that kind of go into the door, if you will, kind of just line up. Now, the final part is you need to put this to the back, like so, and then just make sure it lines up there, and obviously the poles go into where these pegs are. The line up, to be honest, is probably the hardest part at the back there. Normally I do this bit first. I don't know if I've left it till last. Right. Now you see it's there. Line up, line up. Okay, and there you go. You've got one truck that rolls absolutely fine. You've got a big gap in it. And it's not got the most structurally supportive thing. So what I'm going to do at some point is the same thing I'm going to do for Prime here. To build up his back is I'm going to use a good old friend of mine, which I used to use all the time when I used to customise Transformers in the past, styrene. Now, I've used this stuff when I was doing a lot of my Transformer Prime customs, as I just said. I don't know if you guys remember that. I got this stuff off eBay years ago, and I've not actually used much of it since. I've done, I think it was Bulkhead I used most of it for. But it's good solid plastic, and it cuts really easy with just a slight little groove, and it snaps off. So I can build his back up and his legs quite solidly to what I want. I can also make some kind of structure within the cab of the truck so it'll be a bit more stable. Now, I know a lot of you are saying about it's missing his sword holster here. Yeah, unfortunately, I could cut that off and I could put it on there, but it's going to be a pain in the ass and it's going to just ruin, it'll make this look much worse. The whole point is I'm trying to keep the look of the truck as neat as possible and get rid of all the kibble of Prime. Now, he does have this little kind of thing here, which is his sword holder in vehicle mode. It looks like it's a separate plastic. I have tried to pry it apart, but it didn't really want to go. I need to take basically the whole thing apart to proper look at it. But I reckon you could probably cut along that line there, and then you could glue that on to whatever you want, because it's not like he needs it if you're going to keep this. If you're not going to transform him, he's not going to need that there. So we might be able to use that, or it's only just basically a little cup. You could easily make something yourself. It's not going to be difficult. So there you go, guys. That is my custom movie-ish accurate looking Optimus Prime from the Age of Extinction and The Last Night. Let me know what you think about it. I do like this, and I do think it's much better. I'm still just not a big fan of this robot, and hopefully I'm going to be able to keep up doing a lot more of these. I miss this. I miss this so much. I've just had so much going on. And you guys have been so supportive still, even though it's been months and months and months since I've uploaded. So thank you. Thank you for all your support. It's so appreciated. And I will do my best to try and give you guys some content and hopefully be able to build this channel back up to where it used to be. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe. And I'm going to catch you in my next one. See ya.